Hello, I'm Erkki Laitila. I'm here to present what is Meta-University. It means Metayliopisto in Finnish. What is its origin and king idea? This Meta-University is introducing systems thinking to solve societal problems and technical problems, and it's typical for systems thinking to see different sides, different aspects of each object, each system from the direction. In these figures there are two possible ways to see them, their point of views. Metayliopisto promotes everything what is positive. It's open society, crowdsourcing, cooperation, and so on. It's said by Jari Weinertzuk that content is king, marketing is queen, and context is God. And here system is which describes content. This is the context of my approach and the Metayliopisto approach to everything. This figure is typical for systems thinking, describing reality, knowledge and observation. And this is then the content side here in this clause. We are seeking the word. Word is a collection of persons and their communication with each other. Then every person here uses schemas in order to think better in our brain, and even a young child, a pupil, can use some schemas that are taught to him or her at school, but Metayliopisto promotes using schemas widely, using systemic schemas, which makes possible for everybody to understand ourselves better. On-demand learning is also a relevant concept here, and it's modern because the traditional training at school and the universities is not working very long, but by using on-demand learning it's possible to update each other's knowledge to future in order to keep the career up to date and competitive. Then Metayliopisto is a forum, think tank, which describes persons with their own properties, own purposes and goals, but there is a meta level here, which is a way to understand what is the whole optimum, what is common welfare and civilization. It's said by Atomistic that we shouldn't be looking for heroes, we should be looking for good ideas, and it's also the principle here to understand what is common welfare and sustainability by using systems thinking. The final goal for Metayliopisto is the Barrett's seminal model to understand consciousness. The origin here is Maslow's need hierarchy, and by using self-actualization it's possible to get higher consciousness to the whole world. This is a problematic demonstration in Hamburg in the international conference of the worldwide leaders, and this problem, which it caused scandals and much damage, it's a symptom of the problems of the society. Consciousness is a poor level now. But using this Richard Barrett's model, it's possible for us to understand what we are needing and what could be a desired future culture. Here I will tell something about my origin as a professional. I became software engineer and I worked in Nokia for about 8 years altogether. And the most important parts of my professional area include skills of diagnostics, reliability, automatization, and artificial intelligence, and optimization. And in those teams gave me knowledge about best practices in the industry and public and private sector. One part of it is this Nokia telecommunication exchange, telephone exchange here, DX200, which is one of the best projects in Nokia all its time. There are about 2 billion persons that have been using these networks in the world. It's very successful. Some history about that. It has been invented in 1978, and I was there working also in the same time. And then there is CSM mobile phone standard, also made in Nokia. Then when I became professional in the 1980s, I became familiar with artificial intelligence, and in those times there was a large project, 5th generation computer. And in this large project program, Prolog program, was introduced. It has a declarative language, and I was very enthusiastic with this product and computer language. This is a tool how to create artificial intelligence programs, as I have used for about 20 years in industry. I've also written 2 books in how to use Visual Prolog. And Visual Prolog was developed by PDC Prolog Development Center, and it's very famous and has made challenging industrial applications for aviation, healthcare, and workflows resource planning. In those times, in the 1990s, this kind of very large database for Prolog 1000 was established, and there were about 600 Prolog applications available for everybody. And I studied this database very efficiently in order to write my books for Visual Prolog, and this study gave me much information about what is computing and artificial intelligence in any discipline in the world. Then, what is my approach into science? I began to study my research from grammarware, which means how to use grammars for formal languages. And then I wrote a dissertation about symbolic analysis, how to understand and use symbols of code in order to fix problems of software. And it gives me knowledge about system to explain truth. What is truth in software and IT systems? And in those area, about more than 10 years, I found best ways to explain anything. It's a fast contribution. Here I will explain what is core computing science. There is theory, and it comes from Chomsky hierarchy. It's language theory, several types of grammars, and this is Chomsky hierarchy. There are some levels. This is the most simple level, and this is the most challenging level here. And there are some passing trees for natural languages, and the same can be made for formal languages too. Computing is graph theory. It's a collection of trees and execution paths. And there is one symbol at a time to be executed in each thread. For example, that's at this clause. I've written a patent using this kind of theory, a method for developing translator and corresponding system, and it gets as input one language, and it formulates, creates code to other languages. And there is a tool which is made by using this patent rules. Those computer science can be seen as a continuum. It's not separated, but it's a continuum, a path to go towards future. There is a traditional computer machine here from the year 1934 by Alan Turing, and there is human seen as computer, and computer is seen as human. This is the base of artificial intelligence. And human brain and neurons are one part of this thinking, this cognitive architecture about how the brain is working. In future, we are studying this kind of approaches very efficiently in order to get solutions for digitalization. What are the future services? Digital transformation. What is good and relevant here in this video presentation is that every link in this chain can be seen as a system by its architecture, and it's possible to compare and convey information from any link to the next link in order to plan future, next generations for Internet of Things and so on. Systematic approach is very useful for in this continuum. Then my dissertation is symbolic analysis atomistic model, and here is the idea. There is inside computer consists of this kind of modules, symbols, which has inside its code, and it has a capsule. It has a reference place from where to link to other this kind of symbols. This is the cover of my dissertation, and this is a book written about that. Symbolic analysis introduces symbols as atomistic hybrid object, and this is an atomistic hybrid object. It has been presented in conferences about 5 countries in the world. Ernst Lest has written this kind of book, and he gave me a good evaluation for my work. And then I have written a book how to solve software problems, how to locate books in source code using this technology. In Mexico, in an artificial intelligence conference, Mexican Society of Artificial Intelligence, I've gotten a Best Poster Award 2nd place with Steve LeGrand based on that innovation. Then, what is practical world then? Where are the problems? Metayliopisto has presented perhaps the largest coherent collection of videos to describe a better world. It starts from the definition of symbol. The purpose is improve the world. We have started from 2015. We have about 100 examples using systems thinking for society. And one essential part here is Cybernetics, viable system, which ensures that the whole is working. And then we have a meta-working approach for crowdsourcing, for global groups to work together. And the final purpose here is to increase consciousness, which recovers every nation, every system better. And output of this work, this approach is to get a better world. And it starts from human. Human must change. I've written 3 books about systems thinking. This is an introduction, and this is the second is about understand what is the difference between business as usual thinking and systems thinking. And it's based on, in one sense, on Kahneman's thinking slowly and fast and slowly. There are system 1 and system 2. The system 1 is fast, and error prone. And system 2 is typical for systems thinking. It's slow, consistent, effortless, and reliable. It can solve complex decisions by thinking perfectly. And the third book here is how to develop society using this systems thinking principle. And for that, it's said by Niklas Luhmann, who is one of the most advanced societal researchers in the last century. Humans cannot communicate, even their brains can communicate, not even their consistent wise, but only communication can communicate. It is a rigorous clause. And Luhmann has produced a 10-system model to describe the world. There are 10 systems: political system, economy, science, art, even sport is a system, health system, and so on. And yes, describe each of these systems by using function, program, medium, code definition. And it's typical, close to my approach here in my book, Yhteiskunnan kehittymisen perusteet. Then final This summary is relevant here. System explains everything according to Luhmann and me, and anything is a model to be understood, which is popular approach in IT industry, in IT research. Anything can be modeled. Then when anything can be modeled and understood by using system, there is a contribution application here. It's metaworking, how to learn, how to teach, how to communicate with each other better and better. I've introduced here in this year. We have here challenges which are globally known, and we have models to study new questions. And there is a concept. It consists of PowerPoint slides, and there are some types, and there is an extremely simple logic here. And this approach is made by using PowerPoint here. We have a context part, interest part, research part, and summary part. And when everybody can use this model, making this kind of PowerPoint slides, and anybody can start his or her own business using this logic, simple logic, to get more and more information about that approach. This column here is like marketing: attention, interest, desire, action. It's an IDA concept for marketing. And this side is for research, how to study anything. And there is a meaning to get a proof for the thesis that can be defined in the first slides. Then this is a concept of how to communicate anything, any part of society into any body, in any discipline. Then practical solutions that I've demonstrated in the Metayliopisto videos is here shown here. We have practical solutions that can be partially generated for any topic. Here we have the start and end. And the first part here is king idea for anybody. What do you do? What do you want to do? For example, to create a business, a company, or for example, save the climate from damage. Then the second part is problem analysis. Then conceptual creativity is needed for that work. Then we need on-demand learning to learn quickly many other things, relevant things for the problem. Then we need management cybernetics in order to organize this system concept. And then system journalism, it's final goal, or it's common thing which combines all these things. How to communicate with each other by this kind of method, which is like journalism. In demos of Metayliopisto slides, this is the first part: how to promote your king idea, how to solve problems, for example, problems of Finnish government. What is conceptual creativity? All of these videos are about 1 hour. Then what is learning on demand? What is viable system and the management cybernetics? And then system journalism, what does it mean? It's a language for professionals to communicate as efficiently as possible. This model, this approach is capable for using any context from any discipline and point of view to describe anything in any granularity. It can be used for finding business ideas, cooperation possibilities, and to analyze any problem from the SWOT feeds, from the SWOT approach. There are about 30 different systems thinking use cases, typical ways to use, and all of them can be used in this kind of approach to get the best possible ideas. What is then management cybernetics? It is not that there is one person who has invented the wheel, but the other persons here are not waiting because they are too busy. No thanks. The most comprehensive way to develop social and healthcare systems is described here. There is a need to get identity of the system and to get future, image for the future. Then there are internal leadership and management and so on. The same picture is here in other way. There's policy, intelligence, control, and so on. There are subparts, subsystems, and there is environment, how this system communicates with each other and how it will get information for the future also. Much research has been done by using this viable system architecture. The same picture is here in my newest book. There is service ecosystem here, supply and demand and pricing. And then there is society, and there are 4 parts, S1 to S5. There is government and public sector and private sector and so on. It's also introduced this kind of principle, universal management system, universal management structure, in order to use this viable system model for everything. And I see it very promising, for example, for Finnish public sector. In order to summarize, I show here what is visual background from Metayliopisto and what is evidence and relevance for that. Metayliopisto is an open forum to develop the world. And it's my approach here. I created best practices for industry and public sector and private sector for 15 years. I've found best ways to explain anything about 50 years also, and we are creating better world, but it starts from human. The approach here is compatible with viable system model, which is very rich in evidence. There are 4 parts in order to get a better world. There's a value model which comes from Maslow's need hierarchy, and we have approach to hard systems, technology, and approach to soft systems, which means society. And consciousness is the final output here. How good are we to understand other than ourselves to the world? Better world starts from human. We have here science, relevance, and rigorous terms, and then Metayliopisto and practice. It means humanity and sustainability. In order to conclude, we have here systems thinking, fear, reality, knowledge, observation, and system to describe knowledge as good as possible. We are able to study any problem, any challenge, for example, social and healthcare system, how Finland or the whole world. Then it's typical for systems thinking to get all possible use cases and all possible point of views for the problems any discipline. Thank you for your interest and welcome to those pages also later. Thank you. Bye.